Hello, everyone. Welcome to our show. I'm Mike.
Hi, I'm Laura.
Oh, what's the matter, Laura? I can tell you're kind of feeling
I know, but
blue.
I can't complain because I took on the challenge.
You did. How is it going?
Good.
Really?
Because I can't complain.
No, you can't. So everything's perfect and wonderful, right?
Yeah, not bad.
I can see it's a real difficult thing for you. But I have to say I admire you because I haven't been able to make it for even one day. It's so hard. It's such a pain. And I'm complaining again.
You got to start over again.
Man, this is not easy. You'll remember from yesterday that Ralph was doing a 21-day no complaining challenge. His friend Julie, who actually was complaining a lot that day, heard about it and thought, hey, I'd like to try that too. So here we are on day 2. We're going to check in with Ralph and Julie again and see how it is going for them. So let's start our article.
Stop complaining.
Ralph and Julie meet up after several days.
How is it going?
This challenge is harder than I thought. Why did I agree to do it? Oh no, here we go again.
Don't give up. I started a month ago, but I am only at day 3.
Do you have any advice?
I have a trick to stop myself from complaining. When I want to complain, I think about how lucky I am.
What do you mean?
Well, the MRT broke down the other day. In the past, I would complain about it on Facebook. This time, I thought about how lucky I am. At least Taipei has a subway.
That's a good way of thinking about it.
I'm a lot happier now.
I'm going to stop complaining today.
Ralph gives Julie the thumbs up.
Word power!
Advice. Advice. I ask my brother for advice because he's very wise. I ask my brother for advice because he's very wise. Trick. Trick. Exercise is the trick to losing weight. Exercise is the trick to losing weight. Past. Past. Soccer was my favorite sport in the past, but now baseball is. Soccer was my favorite sport in the past, but now baseball is. Subway. Subway. Many people take the subway to work every day. Many people take the subway to work every day.
Okay, so as we sort of explained in the introduction there, Ralph and Julie meet up after several days of hopefully not complaining. Well, I want to know how it's going, and it seems Ralph does too, because that's the first thing he says. He says to Julie, how is it going? How is it going? Or how are you doing?
OK, 所以一开始呢，我们就看到 Ralph 跟 Julie 在几天后就碰头啦。当然 Ralph 非常关心这个 Julie 她怎么样 How is it going? 进行的如何呢？
And Julie says, this challenge is harder than I thought. So it's harder or more difficult than she thought. She thought, I guess, it would be easy. And then she says, why did I agree to do it? And just then she says, oh no, here we go again. So yeah, why did I agree to do it? It's so hard. That's kind of complaining. So that's why she says, oh no, here we go again. You'll remember from yesterday, if you complain, you have to start the challenge all over again from the beginning. This is going to be a long 3 weeks for Julie.
Right, Julie, I feel you.
The 3 weeks could stretch to 52 weeks. A whole year. We'll see.
Okay. 好，我们来看一下 Julie 就说这项挑战比我想象的还困难呢。然后他可能感觉就有点后悔了，对不对？所以这里我们用到的是比较级 The challenge is harder than I thought. OK, 所以 harder 这里是比我想象的还要难哦，就是他原本想象跟就是实际上的这样子的一个对比。然后呢，他就会说Why did I agree to do it? 就是我干嘛答应要做这件事情啊？然后呢，惨啦，他讲这句话的时候是不是又是抱怨呢？所以他就说 Oh no, here we go again. 他又要怎么样？从头开始啦。当我们用 here we go again 常常是用在可能不好的事情又再一次发生的时候，就会 here we go again 就是又来了这样子一个语气哦。好，不过这里我们要先休息一下，来听听我们今天的 Magic Box 要教大家有关比较级的用法哦。Let's check it out.
Magic Box 找亮点。
Hello everyone, this is Winnie. 今天 Magic Box 要来教教大家英文里的比较级该怎么说呢？中文里我们会说它比姚明还高，这个比就是用到比较级啦。你会他很高 He is tall。 英文里的比较级很有规律啦，就是固定在形容词后面加上 er， 再加一个 than T-H-A-N Tall, taller than He is taller than 姚明。你要不要也来试试看这个句子嘞？ For example， 礼貌上看到阿姨姐姐都要说你比我想的还要年轻诶。这里的形容词年轻 young 套上我们的公式 er 加 than 变比较级 younger than， 整句就可以说 You are younger than I thought。不过人生总是有这个不过啦，如果这个形容词念起来已经很长了 For example, handsome, beautiful, expensive 等等，这个两个音节以上再加 er 是不是听起来很别扭？ Handsomer, beautifuler, expensiver 听起来浑身不对劲。这时候我们就在形容词原形前加上 more， 很多的那个 more M-O-R-E more handsome than more beautiful than, more expensive than。 所以如果你要说你觉得那班的男生比你帅你会隔壁男生很帅 The boy in that class is more handsome than you. See, English is easier than you thought.
All right, now Ralph is being pretty nice, I'd have to say. A good friend to Julie. He's encouraging her to keep going. He says, don't give up. To give up, as you probably know, is like quit. Don't quit now. Don't stop now. Don't give up. And then he says something interesting. I started a month ago. So he started the challenge a month or about 30 days ago, but he says, I am only at day 3. So he can't stop complaining either. He's also finding it quite difficult. Well, that's good to know.
OK， 所以原来呢，这个 Ralph 就开始来分享他的一些心得。他说don't give up. Give up 就是放弃的意思哦。他说我跟你讲，我1个月前就开始了，但是我现在才在第3天而已。也就是呢，他中间肯定是有抱怨，所以他要回到第1天开始哦。So next Julie asks, do you have any advice? Okay, what does advice mean?
Advice is basically like a good suggestion. Some things that I might not have thought about. Some things that you might have learned from your life experience, from your wisdom, from being, a little smarter than me about something. So that's what we get advice from, or advice for. We get advice from often older people, older brothers, parents, teachers, grandparents. They've lived a life that's a little bit longer. They've had more experiences, so maybe they know something helpful to help you in a certain difficult situation.
OK， 我们来看一下刚刚提到的 advice 这个字哦，因为刚刚 Julie 说，你有什么 advice， 有什么建议吗？没错 ，advice 就是意见啦，或者是建议的意思 ，advice。不过注意哦，它是一个不可数名词，所以你不能说 you can't say advices， 但是你可以说什么呢？ Some advice, let me offer you some advice， 或者你也可以说 let me offer you a piece A piece of advice 就是我给你一个很好良好的建议哦，我们就可以用这个量词 a piece of OK 来修饰 advice 或是刚刚提到的 some advice 一些建议哦。
The example sentence reads, I ask my brother for advice because he's very wise. I ask my brother for advice because he's very wise.Good idea. All right, back to Ralph. Let's listen to his advice for Julie. He says, I have a trick to stop myself from complaining. When I want to complain, I think about how lucky I am. Hey, that's a pretty good trick, Ralph. Okay, now here we're using this word trick not in the same way we would use it for magic, all right? When a magician pulls a rabbit out of a hat or cuts a person in half using a sword,We know it's not real. It's a trick. There's something going on and they're just confusing us or doing something that we don't quite understand. A trick here, though, is basically a good way of doing something. A fast, easy, or really smart way of doing something that maybe you didn't think of, but someone else has. Okay, so for example, people might say, oh, a good trick for studying is to review all of your tests and all of your information while you take the bus every day. If you do it every day going to school and back, it won't feel like much, but you'll learn everything quite well. That's a good trick. I never thought of doing it that way. It's good advice from a wise person, and it will make my life a little bit easier. What a good trick.
我们来看一下哦，这个 Ralph 刚刚提到的一些心得，想要跟他交换，说，我跟你讲，我有一个可以让我不要抱怨的一个诀窍。OK， 这里他用到的是 trick 呢，其实有诀窍啦，或者是有手法的意思哦。所以呢，他就觉得这个诀窍是什么呢？他说，每当我想要抱怨的时候，我就会想想 how lucky I am， 我其实是有多幸运啊。
All right, our example sentence for trick is, exercise is the trick to losing weight. Exercise is the trick to losing weight. Don't eat all those fancy foods they try to sell you on TV. Oh, I'm only going to eat grapefruit for a year. No, that'll just make you unhealthy.
Yuck.
The trick is the best advice, the quick way, exercise. Yeah, that's not as hard trick, but it's one a lot of people forget. Well, Julie says, what do you mean? She wants more information about this advice. He said, I think about how lucky I am. She wants to know, what does that mean? Explain it a little more. And Ralph says, well, the MRT broke down the other day. So he's giving an example. In the past, he says, I would complain about it on Facebook. So in the past means back in time, before I started the challenge last month or last year, this is what he would do. And I guess he does something different now, but we're going to have to pause to find out more about this word, past.
这时候 Julie 可能开始不耐烦，她说what do you mean? 这什么意思啊？说人话好吗？感觉他是不是又要抱怨？好恐怖哦。那 Ralph 就回说，好，我给你个例子，这样子个概念。他说，像这个捷运啊，前几天不是怎么样 broke down， OK， 不是故障吗 ？break down 其实就是故障或是损坏的意思。那他就提啊，他说，像是 in the past， 我以前啊都会上这个脸书啊抱怨这种事情。OK， 这里的 past 我们来看一下哦 ，P-A-S-T 它是个名词，表示过去的意思。OK， 像是in the past there was a family party every Friday night. Cool.
All right. For example, we could say soccer was my favorite sport in the past, but now baseball is. So maybe 5 years ago, soccer was the favorite sport, but now it's baseball. Soccer was my favorite sport in the past, but now baseball is. All right. Remember, Ralph was saying, in the past, before, I would complain about something like the MRT breaking down on Facebook. But he continues by saying, this time, I thought about how lucky I am. So instead of sitting there complaining, he would take his mind and start thinking about how lucky he is. As he says, at least Taipei has a subway. That's very true. A lot of cities don't. You're stuck in traffic on hot, smelly buses or driving your own car, even having to walk everywhere. Hey, we have a subway. If it breaks down sometimes, that's not so bad. And of course, subway, most people know it here as the MRT. It's a train that goes around the city, usually underground, and it's a quick way to get from one part of the city to another. Subways don't go between cities just around a city itself. They often have different names. The New York subway is the subway. In London, it's the tube. And in Paris, it's the metro. But it's always a train that goes around underground the city.
哦 ，OK， 所以呢，刚刚 Ralph 他要怎么样用正面思考？他说，但是这一次我想的是，我真的很幸运，因为至少台北还有捷运。对呀，有时候坏掉就算了，原谅他吧。OK，subway 呢，其实本身有地铁的意思，不过呢，还可以用来表示就是我们的捷运 MRT 啊。刚刚 Mike 老师补充到说，其实在不同国家，这个 subway 有不同的名字，像是纽约是 The Subway，OK， 它就是叫做 The Subway。然后那个伦敦
，The
Tube
or the Underground，OK，
the Underground，OK， 其实就有地铁的概念。还有在 France。Paris,
it's the metro.
对，在这个法国巴黎就是叫做 the metro， 都有不同的名称给地铁哦。Okay, so how can we use subway in a sentence?
Here's a great sentence. Many people take the subway to work every day. Many people take the subway to work every day. I'm one of them. Anyway, back to our story. Julie's thinking about Ralph's advice. She says that's a good way of thinking about it.She thinks that's smart. That is good advice.
OK， 所以 Julie 就说，对，我这样想也很不错。And Ralph says, I'm a lot happier now.
Good for you, Ralph. And Julie says, I'm going to stop complaining today. So she's taking some advice, some inspiration from Ralph. And at least for today, she'll stop complaining.
Say that, yeah.
Tomorrow, who knows?
OK， 所以他说我今天一定不要抱怨，可是只有今天的感觉。OK， and last we have this scenario. Ralph gives Julie the thumbs up.
Yeah, you often do that when you hear good news or when you agree with someone, right?
就是竖起大拇指啦。Okay, it's now time to go to our wrap up.
Thumbs up. Well, I don't know if I'm going to do the challenge, but actually, to be honest, I've been trying to be a bit more like Ralph recently. When I do have those bad days, it's Monday, it's raining, it's hot, my scooter broke down.
Oh, gosh.
Instead of complaining, I do try to think about how lucky I am. Here's another good way. Turn on the news any day. You'll often see people on there who are a lot less lucky than you.
It's true.
So you might say, hey, at least I have a math test today, but at least my country doesn't have a war.
That's
or
true.
something like that because, there are a lot worse things that could happen than a math test or getting stuck on the MRT.
一定要感到知足哦 OK 不要再抱怨咯 Bye
Bye bye Be happy
A+ 小聚会
Do you have any change? I want to get a cold drink.Do you have any change? I want to get a cold drink.
Yay, it's Vina. It's so hot outside. Do you have any change? I want to get a cold drink. Do you have any change? I want to get a cold drink. 外面真的是太热啦！你有零钱吗？我想要去买杯冷饮。虽然饮料不能太常喝，可是外面真的是太热了，晕。饮料的诱惑真的难以抵挡来着。刚刚听到一开头 Vina 我说到 change 这个字了吗？没错，这个字和改变 change 长得一模一样。但在今天的小聚会里呢，这可是作为不可数名词，零钱的意思哦。Do you have any change? 你有零钱吗？我小时候每次去阿嬷家，阿嬷都会给我100块的零钱。My grandma used to give me $100 in change when I was little. 100块呢是纸钞面额，那么100块的零钱就是$100 in change 啦。而今天的小聚会的第二句 I want to get a cold drink 中的 get 是买的意思，你也可以大方的跟对方说 I can get you some drinks 我可以买些喝的给你哦。I can get you some food if you're hungry 假如你饿了我也可以帮你买些吃的。Okay, I think it's time for today's 小聚会。 Do you have any change? I want to get a cold drink. I'll see you around.
Do you have any change? I want to get a cold drink.
Do you have any change? I want to get a cold drink.
Stop complaining.
Ralph and Julie meet up after several days.
How is it going?
This challenge is harder than I thought. Why did I agree to do it? Oh no, here we go again.
Don't give up. I started a month ago, but I am only at day 3.
Do you have any advice?
I have a trick to stop myself from complaining. When I want to complain, I think about how lucky I am.
What do you mean?
Well, the MRT broke down the other day. In the past, I would complain about it on Facebook. This time, I thought about how lucky I am. At least Taipei has a subway.
That's a good way of thinking about it.
I'm a lot happier now.
I'm going to stop complaining today.
Ralph gives Julie the thumbs up.
Advice. Advice. I ask my brother for advice because he's very wise. I ask my brother for advice because he's very wise. Trick. Trick. Exercise is the trick to losing weight. Exercise is the trick to losing weight. Past. Past. Soccer was my favorite sport in the past, but now baseball is. Soccer was my favorite sport in the past, but now baseball is. Subway. Subway. Many people take the subway to work every day. Many people take the subway to work every day.